The consensus is that FBAs is a combined lineage of those who came through the transatlantic slave trade and the so-called black natives who are already here. So that's pretty. I mean, it's not about anybody denying that they have any African ancestry. There's plenty of African FBAs with African ancestry. I mean, even Tariq Nasheed doesn't deny that. And
Hutch, let me ask you
the
this.
whole
Hutch,
question. I mean, if I can get this point off, I mean, I
okay.
really want to say that the whole point about it not being, or people kind of denying, some can say their African heritage, is more so that if you go back to the time, because what black people came, the first ship came in what, like 1619, when the first black folks came to America in through the transatlantic slave trade. If you go back to 1619, how many of these African countries that we see today were even existing? I mean, my father's Ghanaian. I have Ghanaian lineage in my blood, as well as FBA in my blood on my mother's side. And I mean, as far as I know, the first
If your
Ghanaian
father
president
direct
was
dad is
Kwame
Ghanaian,
Nkrumah, and when was he the
how you
president? When did
FBA
he
if
become
your
president?
father is
In the
Ghanaian?
1960s or something like that. A lot of these, I was going to say, like, a lot of these African nations were not here at all. Like these tribes, these tribes that exist today, they weren't here. These countries that are established today, they weren't here. Nigeria wasn't necessarily a thing. Nigeria was literally named by a white woman who just, just
Okay, Hutch,
pretty much made it up.
Hutch. Here's the issue, right? For example, when you said you guys delineate, no African would fight you over that. We stay on our own zone, and you guys stay on your own zone. We've always been that way. But the issue here is you guys are acting like scorned women who, like, as if your boyfriend dumped you and you can't take it. Now you're just throwing mud at them. So you see, for example, when you start saying things like you just said, you sound very ignorant. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Ignorant of what? What did I
For
say? Come on, you got
example,
to expound on
hold on.
something, man. You can't just be
Just
calling people
because,
names and throwing invectives here.
hold on. The
All right, go
nations,
ahead.
hold on. The nations, like the partition of Africa in 1884, right? That's when these countries were established, right? But that doesn't mean that the people, the kingdoms, the tribes, the ethnic groups did not exist. You said something like the tribes were not in
Yeah.
existence. That's pretty. That's do you understand how dumb you sound by saying this?
All
So
right,
this
look,
part
you
is,
can watch
hold
your
on,
mouth. You don't have to talk to anybody any type of way in terms dumb and all this kind of stuff. Look, you
I'm
can be
not,
respectful in this conversation.
I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just
Yes,
calling
you are
it
being
like it is.
disrespectful. I want you to check that language you're
Okay.
using.
Okay. Do you understand how low IQ you sound?
All right,
You
look. See,
clearly you hold on,
this is the type of stuff I'm talking
hold on,
about.
hold
Okay,
on.
and look, if you want to say, okay,
Let
the
me
tribes were
finish.
there,
Let me
cool.
finish.
If
Let
you
me
want to say
finish.
the tribes are here, cool. But
Hold
look,
on,
what do
hold on,
FBAs, what do Americans here have to
hold on.
gain
Let me
from
finish.
identifying
Let
with
me
those
finish.
tribes?
Hold on,
There's no
hold on.
identification
No
there.
one,
But
hold on.
There's
No
no
one.
if your dad
identification.
is
There's no
Ghanaian, how are you
camaraderie. And
FBA though?
if an
How are you?
FBA came over here, if an FBA came to whatever tribe that he can trace his lineage to, like let's say
Hutch.
I did a DNA
We
test,
cannot hear
I
because the
traced my
other guy is
tribe back
yelling.
to some
Please stop
African tribe.
yelling.
If I went over there, those people wouldn't identify with me. So what do I have to benefit from identifying with that
No one is
tribe that was?
asking. Hold on, Hutch. Here's the thing. You guys keep telling yourselves this thing. No African is coming here telling you to come and identify with us.
Actually, that's not true. I mean,
Okay,
it's
let me
all
ask
over
you.
it's
And
all
you,
over the
hold
internet.
on, hold on. And you
It's all
from?
over the internet.
Didn't
You
you
can't
say
say that
it's
Africans
your
don't say this
father?
stuff.
Hold on,
Africans
it's
say
your
this stuff
father.
all over
Hold on,
TikTok, all over the
hold
internet.
on. It's your
They do
father.
say that. They
Hold on.
do say that. So you're lying
Okay,
to me.
hold on. Did I hear you say
You're
your
lying.
father? Did I hear you say your father is from Ghana?
Yes, he is from Ghana.
So how
Yes.
are you FBA?
I'm saying I'm FBA on my mother's side. I have lineage, FBA
I'm
lineage
not.
on my
Look,
mother's
man,
side.
I'm not even talking to you, man. You're lost. Your father, you're not
What
even
the hell are you
FBA.
talking about?
Why are you even
Yeah,
in
if
this
your dad is
conversation?
Ghanaian, you're a Ghanaian.
Why are you even in
Okay,
this
sure. I
conversation?
have lineage from Ghanaian and lineage from
Yeah,
No.
you
here.
have it.
Not lineage. You're
You're
Ghanaian.
not
Yeah,
an
you're
FBA
Ghanaian.
by their term and by
By
how
that
they
terminology,
define it.
you're
You're
not.
not FBA.
You're
It's a
third by the other
lineage.
definition.
You can have lineage
Your
from different
lineage is your
places.
true African lineage because you are from Ghana.
Ghana.
Your dad
I
knows where
never.
he's
I
from
look.
in Ghana.
Okay,
Yeah, you are not,
and
you are the type Tariq is talking about, the tethers that attach themselves to them, by denying who they truly are. Your father is from Ghana, so you are a
okay.
Ghanaian. You are not a
I
FBA.
have Ghanaian lineage, and
No, no,
I
not
have
lineage, not
FBA lineage
lineage,
that I'm very
sir,
proud of.
sir, sir, not lineage. You are a Ghanaian. If your
I can
father,
trace my ancestry back to the slave fields down in
sir,
Ellisville, Georgia, and it's
sir,
all on paperwork.
it's
You're
your
telling me I have
father.
to deny all
Hold
that
on,
history
hold on,
because you
hold on.
said so? Who
It's
are
your
you to tell me
father.
that? Who are
Hold
you
on,
to tell me that I have to
hold on,
deny half of
hold
my
on. If
family?
your father is straight from Ghana, how are you a slave, sir?
I'm not saying I'm a slave. I'm saying I have
If
ancestry
your
and
father is,
traces back
hold
to
on, just answer
plantations
this.
here in
Hold
America.
on, hold on. Your father, if your father is straight from Ghana, you have nothing to do with slavery, sir.
His
What are
mother,
you? I was saying I literally have
his
ancestry on my
mother.
mother's
You mean,
side.
but that,
You sound
sir,
dumb, man.
sir.
Look, you were
Okay.
calling me dumb
But
Another
earlier.
thing.
I'm calling you
Another thing.
stupid because you
Hold on.
sound
Oh,
because you're
there you
throwing
go.
around like
There
my
you
man.
go.
You
There you go.
telling me that my mother's side of my ancestry don't matter
There,
at all
there you go.
because my father's
Okay.
Ghanaian. You
Okay.
sound
Again.
stupid.
Yeah, because
Again.
it's patrilineal. The dad
It's,
decides
yeah.
who to marry, so you
Yeah.
follow
I
your
mean,
dad.
look, if you want to throw on me
have you
these little
ever
terms,
been
I mean,
back
okay,
here?
cool.
Let me
See.
ask
But
you
I
a
mean,
question.
I have
But he
plenty
does
of
have
ancestry.
lineage.
I'm
His
not
But you
gonna
have,
I'm
lineage
not
is
gonna denounce
African
my mother
American
look,
on one
Look.
side, but
Look.
because
he's
you
not
told me to do
Look.
FBA
so.
but
Look.
according to
Jalen,
what they
Look.
consider
Look.
FBA.
Look.
You have
Okay,
Look.
look, and
lineage,
if
but
I
you're
don't
not
count as
considered
Look.
FBA, so
FBA.
what? If
Hold
I
he
on.
don't count
is.
as
Hold on.
FBA,
No,
so
but I'm
what?
just
That doesn't mean that
telling
I have to
you.
join in my
He is
content
FBA. That's
towards
what I'm
Look at.
with
telling
you
you.
Remember
guys
the rapper.
towards FBA. Look, if
Hold
you
on.
don't want to call me FBA, that's cool.
Hold on. Hold
That's
on.
cool.
Remember.
What does that
No,
change?
they won't call you
They won't
FBA. It's
call you
not
that.
I
us.
That's what I'm
don't
They
Okay,
telling
won't
you.
cool.
call
he
you
Maybe
it.
is
maybe you're right. I
FBA.
mean, maybe you're right.
He
So
is
what?
FBA.
Yeah. Look. Here's the thing. Remember the rapper from Eritrea, the one that got killed. What's his name again? In
Uh,
LA.
I know
Uh,
who you're talking about. Nipsey.
Nipsey, right? Nipsey, his father is from Eritrea, and he calls himself
Okay.
Eritrean. His mother is black from here. The lineage is not through the mother. That was only in the plantation. Your condition, the
Well, I don't
mother's
know who
condition.
established that. I
Hey,
Hold
you
don't
on,
know
have
who
hold
you
on,
told you
hold
that.
on. Let me finish. Let me finish. The mother, your lineage is not determined by the mother. It's determined by the father. The father carries the seed. Okay, the
If
father
that's how
is
you feel,
the,
then that's how
no, no,
you
no, not
feel. If
feeling.
that's
That's
how
the
you feel,
fact.
then that's how you
That's
feel.
not.
I mean,
That's
whether
not
that's true or
feeling.
not, I really don't
Hold on.
care.
But
It
if
doesn't
you
really matter
say,
because I
hold on,
grew up
hold on.
here. I was
Let me
born in
finish.
Georgia. I
I
grew
get.
up here. I grew up around
I get
FBAs.
that.
This is the culture I identify with.
Okay, you
This is what
can.
I've been my whole
I
life.
know.
I
Hold on.
don't know
You
Ghanaian. I mean, my
hold on.
father's Ghanaian. I don't know any
Yeah,
Ghanaians.
well,
I get
I
it.
don't
well,
have
I
any
did
get
your
it.
feelings
dad
towards
raise
them.
you though?
I
Is
don't
one
have
thing.
any cultural identification with them.
but
So I
y'all
mean,
trying to
if I'm
change his
Ghanaian,
mind,
what does
and
that
that's
mean
the
to
only
me?
thing he know.
No,
I mean,
It's
did your
it's
dad
cool
raise
to
you, or
know.
he just had you? That's also a big difference, right? Like my kids are born here, but if you ask my son who is, he'll say we're from Africa.
But
Because
which the
I
wife?
instill it in my children right
The
away,
wife
right?
is African,
Some
right?
people
I
have
mean,
kids
okay,
on the East
that's
Coast.
good for you, and there's
The
nothing wrong
wife
with
is
you doing
African,
that.
right?
I'm just saying,
Hutch.
I
Well, I'm
have
Exactly.
just saying,
no,
like,
The
I've
did
wife
your
is
been
dad
to Ghana.
actually
My first
raise
time
you
going to
though?
Ghana,
the
my
wife
first
is
time going to
African.
Ghana was in 2016. Before that, I didn't know really too much
But you're
about it.
already an
I don't
adult. Like
speak the link.
most,
I don't speak Twi. I don't speak
You don't
Fanti.
have to
And when I
speak
went over
Twi.
there,
You don't have
hold
to
on.
be
Let me get this off.
speaking
Let me
to
get
be
this off because
Ghanaian,
when I
sir.
went over there in 2016, those people stared at me like I was a foreigner. As a matter of fact, it was an African man who was calling me white because because I didn't speak their language and I wasn't from there. He
It
didn't
means
identify
foreigner,
with me.
sir.
So what do I have to
Look,
gain by
look.
identifying with Ghanaians? They over here calling
I
me
was
white.
in my country, after so long, right? And I'm from there directly. People were staring at me. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean I'm not
Okay, and let
from
me ask you.
there.
So you're here in America? Are you here in
Yes,
America?
that's right.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I mean, because the last lady who was up here had brought up about a lot of the immigration coming on in 1970s. A lot of immigrants came over here in 1970 and like late 1960s. And do you think that's just a coincidence that happened after the civil rights movement?
Well, I know where you're going with this. I actually did a show about that, and I brought the facts.
I'm sure you
So
did.
So you will be talking about the 1965 Immigration Act and have nothing to do with blacks. That's called
Also,
the
that has
heart.
nothing to do with
Hold on,
black
hold
people. You
on,
talking
hold
about?
on, hold on,
y'all,
hold on.
peace, y'all. Peace,
It's
peace.
called the
You
See,
asked,
heart.
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Hold
Hey,
on,
I,
hold
I
on,
did a
this is
video
hold
why
on,
on this.
hold on,
there's a
Let
hold
him
lot
on.
of
Let me
explain.
say it.
hatred that
Let me
gets
say
pushed
it.
onto the African
Well,
community
you
from the
gotta let me
FBA
speak.
community
Hold on.
because look, a lot of Africans come over here. They say
Well,
so much stuff like
you
you were
gotta.
saying. You were calling our woman ghetto. You were saying we don't. You had this other fool on here talking about we didn't build anything in the country, that
But did
we were
you,
enslaved in, and
sir?
then we
You're
built
from
this economy.
Ghana.
You
Stop
say so
saying
much
we.
stuff about
You're
Black
from Ghana,
Americans, and
sir.
then
You're
when the
I,
from
flip
I don't
Ghana.
think they're
when the
from
script
Ghana
flips
because
back on
normally
you,
Ghanaians won't
then you
identify like that.
guys
So
He
whine and
is
I
complain
don't
from
think
about
the
the whole
guy.
delineation
He's
movement.
not
This is why
FBA,
nobody
sir.
wants to get
Stop
with
it.
you. There was never any camaraderie.
Uh,
We
good.
we literally put our ass on the line for
Yeah.
you guys to come over here,
There's no we.
That's a
and
You
my
lie.
are
father
African,
included, and
sir.
he
You are
understands and
African,
appreciates the fact that there
sir.
was a civil
You
rights
are
movement that got him
African.
here. I mean,
Can
not
you
every
can you
African
guys
is
hear
like
this
you,
guy? If it
but I'm
wasn't for
just
his
saying,
father, he
people came,
wouldn't be born here.
people
You,
literally died. I
if
have
your
people in my
father didn't
ancestry
come
who
here, you
fought in the
wouldn't be.
civil
You
rights
wouldn't
movement. People who
exist.
died, people
Your
got
dad,
sprayed
your
down with
dad
hoses,
fled.
people
Your
who
dad,
got
So
your
your
dad
dad
fled
fled.
people
Ghana.
got beat,
Your dad fled
people who
Ghana,
got beat
huh?
down.
Your dad fled
And,
Ghana.
and look, whether it's
So
my
your dad
ancestry or
fled
not,
Ghana.
whether it's my ancestry or whether you want to acknowledge my
Oh,
mother's side
please.
of the family or
This
not,
is sad,
No,
people
man.
no, no,
fought
no. But
and died for
what did
you to
your
be able
dad
to come
do?
over
Because
here
What did
you
your
and
sound
dad
sit
like
in
you
that
have
apartment
some,
you sitting in and sit behind that
bro.
microphone you
You're
This
just
sitting in,
guy
talking.
hates his
You
father.
sound
this
like
is the
you
things that
have
they
some
get is you
issue.
sitting up here disrespecting
He
our
hates his
lineage,
father.
our
He hates
culture,
his
our
father.
people, our
I
women,
think he
saying we didn't
doesn't like
build
his
anything.
dad.
He
This is why
hates his
people
dad.
don't like you. This is why people are delineating. This is the
Well,
problem. That's what I'm
let him do.
saying.
But
And
the
look, I'm
problem with you
totally
is
on
you're
board. I mean, whether you
Ghanaian.
want to call me FBA or not, I
Look,
mean, I don't like some of the rhetoric people use
look,
against the
uh,
African community,
Nana, I
coming
think
from the FBA
I'll
community.
have
But
to
I
do a
Bro,
therapy
understand why they
session.
delineate, and I'm totally
I,
on board with
are
it
you
because
gonna
people
allow
like
somebody
you
to
are
talk?
a problem.
Why are we a problem? We should sit down
he
and
needs
not say anything back.
he needs
I'm
therapy,
not.
man. This guy
I'm not talking
definitely.
about you.
This
I'm not
guy
talking
hates his.
about you,
This
Nana.
guy
I'm
hates
talking
his
about
No, I'm saying
father.
more
Afro,
generally,
whatever
like,
his
should
name is.
Africans
I'm
just
just saying
sit
he's
back
being
and
real
not saying
disrespectful,
anything?
and he's.
He hates his
Touch.
own father. Can you believe
Should
that?
we sit
How do I
back
hate my
and
own
not
father?
say
How do I hate
anything
my
just
father?
because?
Sir,
How you gonna speak for
sir,
me?
you will understand as time goes on. You will understand. Okay,
Understand what?
if it wasn't your father, if he did not carry you in his scrotum and come and release you here, you wouldn't exist. So show some
Okay,
respect
look,
to your father.
I'm not saying,
Okay,
when did I ever say I had a
so
problem with my father?
because you
When
are
did I ever
over
say I had a
here
problem with my father?
pretending to be something you are not.
When did I say I had a problem with my
Because
father?
you are hold on. Okay,
I
let me
accept
say
my
this. Let
Ghanaian.
me
I'm
say this.
half Ghanaian.
Okay,
I'm
let me say
Ghanaian on
this.
my father's side.
Let me
I
say
ain't
this.
gotta run from that. I
Okay,
don't have to run
if
from that.
blacks, okay, if those
I don't
blacks,
have to run from
hold
that.
on, hold on, those blacks, if were getting their asses whooped by the white people just to go eat with them, what's that have to do with me?
Don't you know that some of the first Africans who came over here to get their education, they came with Martin Luther King?
Which one? Name him.
I don't know the names. Like I said, I'm not a historian. You want to go
Okay,
do your research on it? Go do your research on
sir,
it.
again, I wasn't born, I wasn't in existence. What's that have to do with me? I'm asking you.
What are you talking about? I'm saying that some of
You're
the
the
first
one saying
Africans
it,
that came over here through
sir.
their H-1B
Sir,
visas,
that's not there.
they went ahead and they came through Martin Luther King. And look, a lot of the civil rights movements, a lot of the people in the civil rights movement, they were because
Man,
look, they
Tariq
had
have
quotas. Don't you
destroyed these
understand? They had
people, man.
quotas on non-black immigrants
Tariq,
Yeah,
coming
Tariq,
into this country.
Tariq has really done a number
yeah, Tariq have
I'm
really
just
done a
saying, look,
number on
don't
these
you know that they
people, man.
had quotas on
Here
a
is
lot of people who could come in this
A
country?
Ghanaian whose father came here. This guy is disparaging his own self. He doesn't even
I'm
realize
disparaging
it.
myself. How? How I'm disparaging
This is
myself?
sad,
My
man.
man, you don't know what you're talking. You're just
This is
hateful. You're
this is
hateful, and you
sad.
have
Okay.
contempt and
bro,
jealousy. Clearly,
are you really Ghanaian? Is your dad really Ghanaian? I'm for real though. I'm not even joking. I'm
look, my
really
name is
asking a
Nana
real
too.
question.
We had the same name, brother.
And like, and this might be a personal.
And
Maybe
I
we
was
should
born
take
on
it
a Wednesday.
offline.
My name's
We'll
Quaku as
probably
well.
take it offline and talk one day. Well, I was wondering if like literally your dad raised you because it's like you would be the
Yes,
first
my dad
Ghanaian.
raised me. My dad was very active in my life. I grew up with
You know,
him.
you'd be the
I grew up in
first
the same
Ghanaian
household.
I would
He
hear
my
Yeah,
matter of
I
say
fact,
don't
y'all
that.
still
believe
married.
it.
Him and my mother
Yeah,
been married
like
since 1993.
yeah, you'd be the first Ghanaian to say this because
Well, if I was, that would
typically
be a damn shame.
we're typically very close to our dads. You know, like
I'm close to
I
my
still
father.
go
My father
crazy.
doesn't have
I
any
still
problem with the
go
Black
crazy
Americans
that my
here.
dad is not
My
here.
father doesn't have a problem with the Black Americans here.
I do not
Why
either,
should he?
sir. Sir, none of us do. Here's the thing. You said something about the delineation. You guys, not you, because you're not. Tariq and his group have been talking about delineation for years. And I even offered, the video is on my channel. I said, what can I do to speed it up, to help them? So, this can be officialized. Like, I mean, no African is checking for y'all. Like you
I
guys say,
mean, look,
y'all.
so
Hold
look,
on,
the
but
termacata
can
is
you
the
let
termacata.
me.
People have been throwing that termacata in the chat. So what does that mean? That's a derogatory term
Sir,
for
I don't
FBA,
know,
and
sir.
It
that you
actually
guys have
isn't.
been throwing
That's
around.
not
People
true,
just
right?
like the
Who's
Hold
Somalians
on,
who are
hold on.
getting kicked out this country have
Oh,
terms like
jeez.
Jareer.
I
They've
don't
This
see
guy
it
always
is
in the
not
had terms
chat.
in
Ghanaian.
disrespect and
This
contempt
guy is
towards
not
FBA.
Ghanaian. Nana.
I
This
I
guy
don't
is
see it in
not
the
Ghanaian.
chat, but